Hello and welcome to Strictly Rangs, your place for boomerang reviews. I'm your host, Mr. G, and today we're going to be reviewing two rangs by the maker William Glover. Now, I love to fly boomerangs. Most people call it a sport. I call flying boomerangs an art. Because to me, just going out, throwing, just really getting good at what you are doing, and the beauty that flying a boomerang possesses while it's in the air, the hover. Every aspect of throwing and flying boomerangs to me is an art. Now, making boomerangs is also quite an art. For some boomerang makers, it's simply a very nicely finished piece without a lot of painting. For William Glover, it's a little bit of both. William Glover, www.gloverrangs.com. You can click on the link down in the description here to get a better idea of William's work and to purchase the boomerangs that I'm about to review from William Glover at Glover Rangs. He is quite an artisan. Not just from the finish of the rang and how smooth it's finished or how well it's manufactured or created in the different varying designs in the woodworking, but also from an true artist's standpoint. Here's a good example. Many of his boomerangs feature his own unique artwork, and it is just out of this world. It's amazing. This one's called Venom, incredible. Not one of the ones I'll be reviewing today. Today we're going to be reviewing these two models, Dragonheart and the One. Both very nice looking boomerangs in and of themselves as well, and very good flying rangs. In fact, this is an incredible beginner's boomerang. 4mm aircraft ply, both of these are. This model, I can't say enough about it if you're just starting out in the sport or the art of boomerang flying. This is an amazing boomerang for a starter rang, for a beginner. Truly is an incredible boomerang. This one would be good for a beginner to an intermediate flyer. The One has a longer range, a little bit more involved with flying that one. This nice round short range, about 25-yard range, beautiful round flight, very accurate on every flight, very forgiving in different wind conditions, in different, basically what we call layover. If you're new to the sport, this is layover, this is more layover, this is less layover. It's the angle that the boomerang's angled at when you throw it. It's forgiving in a lot of respects, and it's a great starter rang. And not only that, it costs $12. I think this piece of wood, if I went out to the store and bought a piece that I could carve this out of, it would cost me more than $12. I don't know how he does it. So that's William, I have to say, incredible piece here for a beginner rang. Price and everything just right. Okay. In this particular show, this being the debut episode, I don't want to bore all the people who are seasoned veteran boomerang flyers, so just fast forward right past what I'm about to do until you get to see me out in the field. For everybody out there who isn't a seasoned veteran boomerang flyer, I'm going to be talking about tuning boomerangs in later episodes. Neither of these really needed any tuning. Some boomerangs that I purchased do need tuning, and when I talk about it, I don't want to have to recap every time what I'm tuning and tell you what the names of the different parts of the boomerang are. So I want to talk about parts of the boomerang and also grips today, real quickly. I'm going to use this as the example boomerang. I'm going to point to parts of the boomerang and tell you what they are. If you don't catch it the first time through, rewind and play it again. This is the elbow. These are tips. This right here is called the leading arm or wing. This is the trailing or dingle arm or wing. This is the leading edge and trailing edge of that arm. This is the leading edge and trailing edge of that arm. Okay? Pretty simple, actually. Over here, we've got in this particular boomerang a weight. Now, weights are often added to boomerangs, usually at the tip, one or both tips, to give it a more stable flight or a longer flight. That's the usual reason for adding weight. Grips. Here we've got what I call the pinch grip. It's when you simply grasp it between your finger and thumb, forefinger and thumb, and throw like that, just like that. Now, boomerang throwing isn't about how hard you can throw it. It has a lot more to do with finesse and spin, and actually the angle of attack into the wind, and the direction the wind is coming to you, and playing the wind, if there is any wind. Sometimes it's easier to throw a boomerang when with windy conditions, and sometimes depending on the model, it may not be easier to throw it with wind. Everything that I just talked about is only applicable to a right-handed boomerang. So where we can talk about trailing and leading wing and things like that, it's opposite for a left-handed boomerang. So if you buy a left-handed boomerang because you're left-handed, and be sure to buy the right boomerang. If you are a left-handed thrower, make sure you buy a left-handed boomerang. Yes, there is a difference, a huge difference. There are very few boomerangs that can be both flown left and right-handed. They are built specifically for if you're a left-hander or a right-hander. Okay? So don't forget that. This is called a cradle grip. So we got the pinch grip and a cradle grip. Okay? Pretty simple. Now, without boring you any more to tears here, let's jump out into the field and start doing some flying of Dragonheart and the One by William Glover.
Beautiful flying boomerang. So easy to throw this boomerang. Takes almost no throw at all, and comes right back to you, hovers in for the catch. Perfect. Easy, easy flying boomerang. Incredible flying boomerang, just amazing for what it is. I mean, it's super light. It's an inexpensive rang, great for beginners. The weight of this rang is like nothing. But like I said, if you're just starting out, you couldn't go wrong with this. This is like one of the better rangs for starting out that I can find. Easy to catch. Very easy to throw. If you're an intermediate thrower, you'll probably find some neat things that you can do with this rang, like learn to catch it like I should do. Very easy throw. I mean, I threw that with basically no force at all. Very easy to catch. Beautiful flying rang. Look at that. Right in here to us for the catch. Couldn't ask for a nicer flying boomerang, really. Fairly accurate rang. Right in here to us, and missed the catch because it faded at the end there. But it is an accurate boomerang, pretty accurate. Hopefully this will give a little hover. I tell you, this is not a real big hovering rang. Likes to fly into you pretty nice, but it recovers well at the end for an easy catch.
That was a lot of fun. Let's recap. We've got the One and we've got Dragonheart. Both of these boomerangs by William Glover. The One, I would say, is more for late beginner to intermediate thrower. It's a fairly light rang. Both of these are 4mm aircraft ply. The Dragonheart here, very excellent flyer. Both of them very accurate boomerangs. Both of them possess different flight characteristics though. Excellent boomerang Dragonheart here for a beginning flyer. For the price, you definitely cannot go wrong, believe me. So I'm satisfied with both of these boomerangs. They're a lot of fun, and I think I'll get a lot of use out of these when the weather starts to get nice again. It's starting to get really cold here. One thing I wanted to tell you was, when I was describing the parts of the boomerang and then showing you the grips, I forgot to talk about wind. You do not throw the boomerang directly into the wind. You want to, if you're a right-handed thrower, you want to turn to your right, maybe 45 to 90 degrees. Experiment a little bit. A left-handed thrower, you would turn exactly the opposite direction and the wind would be coming at you this way. So, again, these two boomerangs can be purchased on www.gloverrangs.com. Stick around, there's going to be a couple of outtakes at the end. And I hope everybody had fun. I'll see you right here next time on Strictly Rangs.
A lot harder throw with it. It hovers back in and miss it.
And some of them successful, some of them not so successful. Like my speech today. So if you know people that are interested in learning more about boomerang flying, or in purchasing a boomerang, or about cats that have bells on their necks that make a lot of noise when they jump down and walk into the kitchen, then you can watch this show.